final act of this week's Extra Time, the trapeze portion of the show, if you will. Shep and I walk out on a limb, our predictions for the Western Conference. And Shep, we're going to start off with the player to watch. That player you think needs to have a good season to have an impact.
Yeah, the young Colombian, I call him a superstar in Seattle, Fredy Montero. I think he's the real deal. And this Seattle team, with all the excitement, the buzz out there, he's going to be the guy on the ball. I think he's going to make a difference.
Need a reason for all those people to cheer, right? For me, it's Dan Kennedy, the goalkeeper for Chivas USA. I think he has to have a good season if this team is going to do what I think that they're going to do.
I like Kennedy.
Now, conference MVP. They don't really give out that award, but who would you say is going to be the MVP?
I've become the biggest fan ever, and I always wasn't, of Landon Donovan. He's become a man. I think his experience at Bayern Munich, fought hard. In the end, it didn't work out the way he wanted. He's a better player. He's strong. He's tough. He's always had great skill on the ball. I think he's the MVP.
Well, I'm going to go with Javier Morales, of course, right? Real Salt Lake had a great 2008. I think it's just going to be picking up in 2009. Signed another deal, and he's ready to go. Who's going to be the biggest surprise, or what will be the biggest surprise in 2009, Pete?
I'm on a Seattle bandwagon.
You really are.
I think they are going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to do damage. And again, I start with Casey Keller. He's going to keep them in every game. Siggy Schmidt, his coaching, all you have to do is look back to what he did. I know you think they're missing some players, but
the back.
Freddie Lundberg, wait a second. Freddie Lundberg, his rehab is ahead of schedule. When he comes back with Montero playing tucked in behind him, they're not going to have to worry about the back.
Well, I hope so, right? They have John Kennedy Hurtado just signed, a Colombian defender, so he might help them out as well. For me, the biggest surprise is actually going to be the Colorado defense. I've decided that with Pickens, as you mentioned earlier, he's a huge pickup for them. Bringing in Ivan Guerrero, I thought was brilliant for them on the left side. It shores up the left side of their defense. Ugo Hemelu is there, and I expect Corey Gibbs to be healthy this entire season. Great defense right there. Well, biggest disappointment in the Western Conference.
This one's going to hurt because it's not their fault, but it's Chivas. I think Chivas, first of all, you have to have good expectations to be a disappointment.
That's true.
And Chivas has great expectations, but let's assume they lose Sasha Kljestan. That's not my biggest concern. My concern is Ante Razov. Does he recover at his age and still be the great player that he once was? Galindo, we talked about him earlier. Does he stay healthy? He's so brittle. You talked about Kennedy. I like him, but that's a raw talent, unproven.
Well, for me, I think that the biggest disappointment is going to be Donovan Ricketts, the goalkeeper for Los Angeles. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying the goalkeeper, the Jamaican goalkeeper for Los Angeles.
I can't argue with you.
Who's your champion for the Western Conference?
Real Salt Lake. Under the radar screen,
on the bandwagon now.
Jason Kreis, I think, in the Western Conference, didn't do much to a team that got on a roll last year, but he's got them playing as a unit. Raimondo solid in goal. Re-signed Chris Winger to a long-term deal. They just play as a unit. If Movsisian has the kind of year, and Morales, your pretty boy spraying the ball around, I think they win the conference championship.
Well, for me, I think the Western Conference is going to go to Chivas USA. Forget your disappointment. I think they're going to be healthy. They're getting Galindo back.
They're going to be healthy.
They are. Eskandarian, for the first half of the season, they're going to have Kljestan. They're going to get a big leap out of there. I actually like their defense. Lawson Vaughn, I think, is coming back. He's going to be terrific for them. When Bobby Burling gets back from surgery, I think he's going to do a great job. Chivas USA, conference champions in the West. Well, let's jump into our mailbag really quickly. Stuart from Nowheresville and James from Medford, Mass. They both had similar questions. They look at teams like Real Salt Lake and Columbus and what they've done, not changed their roster much since 2008, and they wonder, do you think that teams with pretty much the same core roster for 2009 will have some sort of an advantage?
That's a good question, and I think the answer is yes. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And they kept their core intact, had good seasons last year. I think they'll do it again.
I kind of agree. Yeah, definitely. When you look back to sort of New England and Houston not changing their core over the years and making it the final again and again. Jimmy from Bozeman, Montana asks, if the newest addition to MLS is Portland and Vancouver, will MLS go to a 3-division table, Eastern, Central, and Western?
Well, Jimmy, I want to go to Bozeman, Montana. But I don't know. The league has gone to a new format that I like this coming year, which is the 2 spots in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. They're in the playoffs. Everybody below wild card. I like that for drama. I'm not crazy about a 3 three conferences.
I
though.
agree. I think it has to stay 2. I think it's a good question, but I think you have to stay 2 just for the balancing it out. Well, you can email us anytime at extratime@mlsnet.com. If you do and we use your question on the air, you'll get an ET t-shirt. But that's all we have for you this week on Extra Time. Join us next week and we'll kick it around.